Here, recording and presentation mode. Firmware overreach. Imagine purchasing a standard CNC mill, lathe, or 3D printer for your engineering lab, only to find out it won't boot up unless it's connected to a state government database. It features an integrated camera monitoring your build plate and an automatic kill switch governed by a distant server. If your CAD design looks anything vaguely like a restricted component, like a firearm, to a generic closed, closed source algorithm, your machine breaks itself. This is exactly what new state legislations is trying to do to additive manufacturing. 3D printers were built on open source technology, yet now facing aggressive legal mandates that threaten to turn local workshops into tools into corporate spyware. This issue demonstrates a critical conflict between automated government surveillance and constitutional rights to privacy and property. Today, I'll explain how mandated blueprints blocking software fails tech, tech, technical tech, tech engineering standards, undermine our constitutional rights to privacy and property, and how we can take action to protect open source technology. State governments across America are pushing for unconstitutional laws that would require the mandatory installation of tracking software and firearm blueprint detection algorithms on the firmware of all newly produced 3D printers. For example, House Bill 2321 in Washington and Assembly Bill 2047 in California aim to persecute people who distribute uncontrolled hardware and software. From an engineering perspective, this uh, bills are a disaster for two major reasons. First, the legal definition for additive manufacturing, well, the definition for 3D printers is additive and subtractive manufacturing to them. And this is so broadly and inadvertently encompasses machines not considered 3D printers, such as CNC mills, lathes, and laser cutters utilized by small businesses and school labs. Second, a technical reality mandatory algorithm cannot accurately detect firearms anyway. A firearm can easily be split into simple generic uh, features like cylinders, blocks, and springs. Because of this, software inadvertently trigger massive amounts of false positives, shutting down a school's robotic project or a business's aerospace prototype just because a part looks similar to a gun but is not. This legislation transforms regular hardware into in, invasive and unreliable devices that pose an economic danger to private individuals and business alike. Compelling manufacturers hard hard code blocking firearm tech into 3D printers firmware to acts as an unlawful backdoor method for limiting rights, which directly violates the Bill of Rights. When you buy a piece of hardware, you own the hardware. You own the rights to control the code running on its microcontroller. By enforcing companies to install background internet monitoring and mandatory data reporting, the state is conducting preemptive digital surveillance. on innocent hobbyists and engineers before any crime has ever been committed. This violates the spirit of the Fourth Amendment, which protects citizens against warrantless digital searches and seizures. The 3D printing nerd, a prominent manufacturing channel, analyzes the Washington bill and explains that it basically enforces your own property to spy on your own home. Instead of keeping communities safe, this system breaks the traditional separations between regular commercial activities and the police powers of the states. Tech companies should not be forced to act as a state-sanctioned police force that monitors the day-to-day designs of mechanical engineers. The solution to this problem is that we must protect open source digital ecosystems. We must ensure that 3D printers are not subjected to mandatory state-issued lockdown softwares. Maintaining user control is critical to to ensure that the software does not become a restrictive corporate monopoly. If we fight these pieces of legislations, individuals, engineering schools, and private aerospace startups will be able to create fixed tools without any fear of unconstitutional surveillance or facing absurd felony charges. If we do nothing, our machines will become proprietary spying devices wherein any attempt to repair, modify your own firmware becomes illegal. We will enter a future where you do not truly own your tools anymore. The focus of our legal system needs to remain on prosecuting malicious acts committed by individuals rather than preeminently locking down the digital tools of honest creators. Thank you.